Assalamu alaikum, dear brothers and sisters. Thank you for joining me on this video. So today I'll be sharing with you a piece of Kiswa that's recently come into my possession, and this Kiswa has been used on the Kabah in Mecca. So the piece that you can see in front of you is approximately 50 by 50 centimeters. It has Subhanallah wa bihamdihi written in the top section, and Subhanallah al-Azim, Subhanallah wa bihamdihi, Subhanallah al-Azim, and then you have the word Allah that's come at the bottom. Now, from what I know, I've done some research on this quite a long time ago, and I've actually forgotten, but from what I know, the Kiswa is actually made in a width of 49-50 centimeters. So generally the left and the right hand side should have this kind of edging. Okay, it may not be there because it may have been cut off because the Kiswa is stitched together, so it may have been cut off, but I'm pretty sure that the edging is on both sides, and like I mentioned, sometimes they're stitched together, and when it's removed it's just quickly cut with a scissor all the way down. Okay, but I've seen three pieces. I've had three different pieces, and four pieces, and three of them have had this edging on there. It's quite unique. Okay, the replica versions have some of them have Dar al-Kiswatu Sharif Makkatul Mukarrama written on there, and that's, from what I know, not what's actually used. It may have been written on the Kiswa a long time ago, but the Kiswa, the recent Kiswas don't actually have anything written on the edge. Okay, I'll take you close up. So it's very fine silk. Okay, so you can see the threading that goes all the way up, and the writing you can see is horizontal. All the writing and inscription is all horizontal. Another unique thing to Kiswa is you can see the edging. You can see the edge, how it's made up of multiple layers, and this is called Jacquard weaving. Okay, it's actually, just to show you with my fingers, when you do rub your fingers between to feel this thickness, it is actually strong. Even though it's silk, which is quite a delicate fabric, it is actually quite strong. Okay, another unique feature of the Kiswa is if you turn it over, you can see the difference. The front is very smooth and shiny, and the back is matte. Okay, and this is sort of one of the features of Jacquard weaving. So if you do have a piece, then this is sort of what you're looking for. Okay, it's relatively easy to fold. The ends will have loose threads like this. Okay, but you can sort of see close up how you've got the front layer, which is shiny, and then you have its multiple layers. It's made up of multiple layers. Yeah, you can search up Jacquard weaving. Okay, so this is an original piece of Kiswa. The replica ones are really shiny at the front, very shiny, and it shouldn't be, and that's probably because it's polyester. Okay, another way you can check for Kiswa, I'm having to do this with one hand, so bear with me, is you can take a very small thread and test it to see if it's silk. Now I actually have a replica Kiswa here which I bought, and this particular Kiswa looks like it's been used, but it's actually a copy version. Okay, so this is apparently the same design is used in the sacred chamber of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Okay, so the person that I bought this from clearly has put some very dark itar on there, or has made it dirty that it looks used, but this is actually a copy. I took a chance. I seen it come up for sale from a UK auction company. I thought, let me take a chance, and I bought it, and I've tested it, and it's not actually silk. So you've got to be very careful what you actually buy. Now, just to show you, again doing this one-handed, but I've taken some loose threads out from the Kiswa, and I'm just going to show you, when you burn the thread, if you pull the flame away, the thread, or even if you continue to try to burn the thread, it shouldn't continue to burn once the flame is pulled away. Okay, so I'm holding it, the flame's burning, I pull it away and it stops burning. Okay, and the smell that I get is like when you burn hair. If you've been cooking and sometimes you're you know, you've got hair on your arm, and you're cooking, and sometimes the flame burns your hair. It smells very foul, smells very bad, because silk is made from silkworms. It's natural and it will burn like human hair. Okay, so just to show you again, if I hold it, it's not actually catching fire. Okay, I'm holding it, I'm trying to, you know, get this burning, but it's struggling. Okay, and another feature of silk is that it becomes very powdery. Okay, so just want to make sure my masala is not being damaged. It actually becomes like powder. So this is actually cooled down. Just to show you, it becomes powdery. Yeah. So that's actually silk. Right. Now I'll show you, this is a piece of the other Kiswa that I showed you, the replica version. Okay. And if we burn this, this will catch fire. So I've just put it on some foil, so that nothing else gets burned down. But I'm gonna might have to put the phone down to take the small fire out. Okay, there you go. So it's still burning. Okay, and you can see the smoke that's coming out is very black. And if you look very closely, how it's burnt, it's sort of melted. Okay, it's melted. That is a sign that it's man-made and it's polyester. It's not silk, it's polyester. Okay, just to show you again. A bit warm. So I'm going to continuously holding the flame, but it will turn into plastic. Okay, because it's a man-made fabric. So that's one way of noticing what is silk and what is polyester. And most of the fakes are made from polyester. See, no matter how much I burn it, it's turning to ash. And when I pull the flame away, it's not continuing to burn. It stops straight away. I mean, I'm trying to burn this, but it's just not happening, you know. Even if I was to put a flame, and I wouldn't because I don't want to damage it, but even if I was to put this under, what I have actually done is for this particular Kiswa, I did cut a section off at the end when I first bought it, and I burned, I kept burning it and it just didn't burn. It just didn't burn. But this is actually quite useful. Obviously, the intention here, my intention is not to burn Kiswa as out of hatred. The intention here is to test it, to test the Kiswa if it's authentic or not. Okay, it's the most inexpensive way to check for silk. You can YouTube many other videos how to check for silk, how to check what's cotton, and you'll find different ways. They burn different different fabrics burn differently. This is one way of testing silk, and it's an inexpensive way. There are other ways of testing silk, but obviously they do cost hundreds and thousands of dollars and pounds, whichever currency is that you use. So yeah, and you've got to be very careful in terms of what you buy, who you're buying it from, because Kiswa is very, very difficult to get hold of. It's kept in storage. Few people have access to it. Some people that have good relations with the Kiswa factory may be able to get hold of some very small pieces, because from what I know, people that work at the Kiswa factory, they tend to be gifted small pieces. It used to be very common before where they used to cut it up and distribute it to pilgrims during Hajj, but it's not very common nowadays. But it's really, really beautiful, mashallah. It's amazing to have something like this. And like I said, I've got one more piece that's very similar in size, and then I have a piece that's about a meter long by 50 centimeters width, and they're all slightly different. They're all very, very similar, but they're all very slightly different. Some are slightly more firm than others. Some of them are slightly softer. They're all probably no one batch is the same. The silk will always be different, because Saudi source the best silk for the Kiswa. Just another piece actually that I've got next to me, which I'll show you, is this over here. This is another piece. This is a very, very soft piece of Kiswa, and this actually comes over from here. Subhanallahil Azim, like that. Have I got that right? Yes. Okay. Trying to get this right in the right places. Like that. Yeah. So slightly different. Still tested for silk, but it's just another piece that I've got. This one's much more softer than the other one. Turn it over and you can see the difference. If you just want to do a comparison of that, so you can see those two. Very, very similar. This one's softer, and if I turn it over for you, you can see the comparison of the two and how they are on the reverse. Okay, Jazakallah khair for watching, and keep an eye out for more videos on Kiswa. Okay, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.